I got that video done in the moment. I completely realized that the trader is holding a cultist necklace, and I'm like, well, what does that mean? So obviously, we're like, how is this connected? What's going on with that? And then I'm just like, all right, nothing to see here. Let's just continue with what's going on. Went and edited the video, had it uploaded, was waiting for it to upload, so I jump on Twitter, and then I immediately see Hayes replied saying, oh, I didn't even see the guy behind him. I immediately clicked off that Twitter to go to the high definition picture, and I'm like, there's a guy right behind him. And so I'm like, all right, so he's definitely a cultist. Didn't realize that he's got the antlers, which is the big piece here, and that's why we're talking to Dan right now. Because Dan, you absolutely nailed it with the antlers, and you remembered that there was a work in progress shot, which I'll show right now, of the guy with the antlers in 3D, and he's wearing the bear, I guess, did they call that the bear ghillie suit? Did you notice like the textured thing that the guy's wearing in 3D to do with the antlers?
Yeah, it's got like the elastic straps on it for putting in like foliage, bits of grass and stuff like that to camouflage. Yeah.
And you'd know about that because you were, do they call them snipers, or were you like a marksman or something like that in the UK?
No, I was just a mechanic, but I did work quite closely with some of the guys out there that were, because obviously they needed to get about in their vehicles and stuff. So I had a little bit of contact with some of the SF guys and stuff, and they had all similar pieces of gear and that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, man, it's really cool, and especially seeing it, comparing it to the bear like clothing as well. Like it looks really, really cool.
So I made that connection because he's wearing the, well, of course, with the ghillie suit, but also because of just the location with that island and all of the long sight lines. Like that's going to be a sniper's heaven. So of course there's going to be some kind of sniper boss on there. And now if it's a cultist sniper boss, that would be just oh my god! Like I just insane level of thinking there with BSG to add all that shit up. But I did want to ask, like, so just for what you remember, what was like your initial thought process that you came to that conclusion? Because I'm sitting here I'm literally trying to get as much information as I possibly could, completely missed there's a dude standing behind him. And then when I did notice there's a dude standing behind him, completely missed the antlers and the necklace and the 3D thing. So just talk through like kind of your thought process and when you initially figured it out.
Yeah, man. The first thing, I'll be honest, the first thing that I noticed is the text in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I haven't got it on me at the moment, but it translates to know the truth. Now there's quite a background with like Latin phrases and stuff like that BSG have played with in the past. For example, with Terror Group, you've got Virtus in Scientia, which is essentially strength in the science kind of thing. So I immediately recognized it as something that should be translated, and it was like to know the truth. And I noticed the necklace in his hand, and it had like the eye on it, and I was like, wait a minute, and continued to scan the image. And then, of course, saw the dude with the antlers, and I was like, I recognize this guy. Like those antlers were like, they just stuck out a mile away, and I was like, I have seen this before. Pulled up the image of the cultist boss render, if you like, that we saw, probably close to 2 years ago now, perhaps.
Oh, it could have been.
And
yeah.
It quite easily could have been longer for sure.
Yeah.
And it just clicked in my mind. I was like, I've seen that necklace. I've seen the antlers. I put the two images together, and I was like, holy shit, like we've actually, we're onto something here. And I did the little picture on Twitter with the guy, and I did the little circles with the pen thingy that you can do on your phone, screenshot. And I was like, it's here, it's this guy. And yeah, dude. And everyone was like, whoa, holy shit, this is real.
What's funny is I saw the phrase beneath him, and I immediately thought, oh, it's his name. Like,
right, yeah.
Maybe it's because it's been so long since we've had one of these, but I dropped the ball on like 4 different fucking things with this. I dropped the ball. I just thought it was his name. I was like, I almost put in the video too that instead of calling him Lightkeeper, I almost called him that. But I was like, I can't fucking pronounce this. I'll just call him Lightkeeper because it's Verum Cognoscere. See, I can't even fucking pronounce it. So it's yeah, I didn't notice that either. So dude, great fucking catch. Just round of fucking applause there. Great fucking catch for this, dude. For
appreciate
real.
It, man.
And so yeah, with that figured out, and now we're putting this all together here. Initial thoughts, where do you think we're gonna go with this? Like, do you think that this is significant? You think this guy maybe he knows the only way out of Tarkov, or something like that. Like, there's got to be some kind of reputation we have with this guy. Like, what are you thinking?
Like I said on the tweet, there's a little bit more information that we know, not necessarily about this individual, like specifically, but we, from the wiki, we know that the Lighthouse trader has a background in naval electronics, right? So I had a little bit of a think about that, and I was thinking to myself, naval electronics, what else do we know about the cultists? Well, they're also known as the witnesses, and the event that they witnessed was actually the EMP, the electromagnetic pulse, also known as the blue flame. Okay, so these guys call it the blue flame, and they kind of believe that this blue flame is like their sign, or their, if you can imagine, like, the second coming of Jesus, for example, it's like that's their second coming of Jesus, like this EMP that they believe, right? So it's kind of a stretch here, and you can kind of imagine the meme with all like the algebra and all the like formulae on the screen right now, like as my brain is trying to figure it out. But essentially, this guy has obviously some connection to the cultists, right? At least from the image itself, he has the cultist necklace. He has the let's call him the cultist boss for now. He's got the cultist boss behind him in the lighthouse. He's obviously got some sort of connection there, but also, if he does indeed have this background in naval electronics, and he is potentially responsible for the EMP that wiped out, a lot of the electronics in the early days of the Tarkov disaster, let's call it the Tarkov, the blockade. Is this guy sort of viewed as a kind of leader amongst the cultists? Is he viewed as some sort of VIP? Like, do they know that he's responsible? I mean, I guess like the fanatics most likely don't. They have got no sort of concept of this guy being potentially responsible for the EMP, but perhaps there is some leadership there that understands, like, this guy is what cults are like. You have a guy that knows what's going on, right? You got a guy that knows the score. And then you've got all like the fanatics who are just like, being led and just sort of getting on with it. So I honestly, I genuinely would not be surprised if this guy was behind the original sort of EMP. Maybe he had some sort of connection to Terror Group. Maybe he has some sort of connection to the cultists in the first place. There's definitely more story there. And what BSG is showing us right now, like, they're saying, hey guys, look, we haven't forgotten the story. The story is still incredibly important to us. And here's some teasers, like, go and knock yourselves out. And yeah, now we have this amazing like puzzle to kind of piece together, which is extremely exciting.
It's just fantastic. 0 to 100 with one podcast.
Yeah,
one
dude.
Stream from them, just absolutely insane. On top of all the other features and stuff that they talked about today, which is probably why I got my brain going a million miles a minute. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do I even talk about first? Are we doing this? Is like, we got to do with the necklace. All right, maybe he's got something to do with the cultists. And it's just like, no, this huge piece, he could be absolutely vital to the entire story. And it's coming in the next patch. So this is absolutely insane. Something that's to try and hit on here is that we need to have some kind of special relationship with this person, which brings a new meaning to this now that we know he's associated with the cultists in some way, maybe even guarded or leading the cultists, of which we're shoot on sight always. Doesn't matter what karma you got, you're always shoot on sight with the cultists. They always hate you. So like, what do you think? Where do you think that leads? Of like, just initial thoughts of like, what do you think we're going to need to do to be able to just interact with this guy?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think from a gameplay perspective, it needs to be fairly kind of simple. We need to be able to get access to this trader with relatively simple means. Because if you can imagine, let's say, for example, the trader himself, employs, for want of a better word, employs the cultists to kind of keep his area safe, to keep his assets, safe with their protection, for example. It's in their best interest to allow people to trade with the trader, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're probably not going to be doing a great job if you're stopping your employer from doing business, right? So it's a tricky one, and I think we start sort of coming into the realms of PMC karma in a way now, where we're sort of thinking about like if you are in a certain area, perhaps the trader or the cultists, once you cross that threshold into this new area where you're going to be doing business with this guy, perhaps this might be some sort of no fire zone, for example. And if you do start engaging this trader's customers, the cultists are then going to think, hold on a sec, this isn't quite right. Maybe we're going to eliminate this threat, because, as a business person, the last thing that you want is for your customers to be killed, right? That's right. So, it's bad for business.
Yeah. So to cut in here before, Nikita has said before, it is going to be some kind of mock safe zone. He didn't give specifics, but that island is going to be a mock safe zone. So I don't know if we have to put the weapons completely away. Who knows if we're going to get low ready. He didn't talk about low ready or anything else with the animations and stuff, even though that's planned. That would be a huge thing for like just interacting with NPCs, and that's going to be a thing. Like you only have low ready, and then you pick up your gun, then they get active, kind of a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, in the past, it's definitely, this island's going to be some way, shape, or form a safe zone in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about the books, whenever the protagonist, I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but whenever the protagonist in the early days is interacting with the various traders, his weapons always go into like a safety box. He puts his weapons in a safety box. He goes and does his deal with the trader, and then, they do their business, and then he goes back out, he gets his weapons back, much like we see in raid episode 4, when he goes
trader,
to... Yeah, they take his weapon, he goes in, he says, do you want this, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think we will probably get disarmed on entry, but, people are going to be... We know what Tarkov's like. It's a dangerous place. Are people going to be watching the entrances and extracts to that location? Are we, are we going to have to bring friends with us? Are we going to have to bring teammates to keep that area on lockdown whilst we go and do business? Like this is a brand new concept. Like we've never had this before. We've never ever interacted with an NPC on a location. It's blowing my mind, dude, thinking about how it's gonna work, or yeah. I
can't fucking wait. But yeah, dude, there's a lot of questions, and they're purposely leaving us guessing. We don't even know how many bosses are coming. We don't even know how many of these. Maybe there's just gonna be straight up cultists walking around. Like we don't actually know. Now in the past, he has talked about 3 or 4 bosses guarding him. But they've seemed to shut that down a little bit, and then right now, if you walk up to the island, you'll get shot by 3 different locations at least. So if that adds up, or if they end up going that way, then there's a possibility that there's 3 of these antler dudes with SVDs or sniper rifles of some kind waiting for us.
Yeah.
Up high up in the lighthouse, but yeah, they're doing a good job with keeping this stuff secret, especially where the cultists, we kind of knew the cultist was coming. Definitely partially my fault, since I would dig into all this stuff with the cultists are definitely coming. They're coming. So even though they tried to keep it a secret, it wasn't necessarily a secret. So with this one, they definitely did a good job with this one. And then we might see something pop up. My brain's immediately going to, if they're gonna surprise us with something like this, like what's going on with Black Division and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, like Black, yeah.
Crazy.
That's a whole nother story, man. That's a whole nother video.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just nuts that like I'll go down little tangents sometimes with some stuff, and it could even be easy stuff with just plain old features of what they want to do with the game, or it might go story with like what the guy on streets, the guy in the car dealership, the boss in the car dealership, like what's he doing in that car dealership, because you can see those skull and crossbone flags around and stuff like that, and people are like, it's just a fucking flag, like it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, and here we go, our trader who we need to interact with is a fucking cultist. So it's just
everything means exactly. I mean, BSG are massive fans of this kind of storytelling, which makes me extremely excited for story mode. I grew up playing games like Metal Gear Solid, and games where you had to kind of like do your research on the story. Like, yeah, you could enjoy it at face value, but if you really want to, you can go down multiple rabbit holes. And I'm fairly certain we've seen BSG with publishing images of like the Foxhound patch from Metal Gear Solid. Like, I'm fairly certain they are fans of the Metal Gear games, and we're already seeing this kind of like deep like storytelling medium with like clues, and like you have to find this out and you have to find that out, and work together to unravel the mystery of Tarkov and like find out all the secrets, dude. It's so exciting. And like people don't know, like people aren't ready for this because we've been kicking each other's ass for 4.5-5 years now. There is such a rich story behind
Absolutely.
everything in Tarkov, and yeah, dude, I am like, you could probably tell in my voice, I am so hyped. It's like 10:30 at night here, and I'm like shouting the house down. I can't wait, dude.
Well, that's the thing, is like all the OG people, which I don't consider in terms of like the content creator side of things. I definitely don't, but I don't consider myself there. But I was watching you guys in 2017, and it's like, sitting at work, have you guys on the second monitor, going home and trying to play during the alpha and the beta and all that stuff. And keeping up with them, knowing that eventually someday it was going to get to this point. It's a long time coming, and a little bit there was like, I don't know, it got pretty popular for the type of gameplay that it's not exactly meant to go to. And so I was curious for a little while there. Are they gonna, we got this arena mode coming up now. I know it's part of the lore, but are they gonna feed into like the arcadey kind of stuff, but just kind of keep it where it is, or are they gonna actually fulfill what the heavy story-driven, RPG aspects, like the brutal kind of survival side of things, which I know they're going more, as realistic as playable with that side of stuff nowadays. Like, how far is that going to stretch? And no, like, it seems like this brought me all the way back into like, damn, this is gonna be awesome. It seems like they can do everything. It's just really fucking cool to see. I can't believe we got that sprung onto us today. It's just like, oh, the traitor, yeah, he's gonna be cool. Maybe he's gonna have some cool weapons. No, he's a cultist. That's just insane.
Yeah.
Insane that you found that too, man. So.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's just I love the way that they sort of revealed it. It's like hiding in plain sight, Exactly. It's like, hey, cool, look at all this new stuff coming to the game, and we're gonna reveal this one image, and you're gonna basically find out so much just from this one image. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, here's this picture that we're not going to say anything about, but we're just going to put these little tiny clues that those of you that have been watching and following and enjoying the story for so long, like, you're going to get it. And like I say, man, it just like, I saw the necklace, I saw the name, I saw the Latin, the words, I saw the antlers. I was like, dude, this is it. Like, there's so much more going on here, and I am so hyped.
Goosebumps.
Absolutely.
Well, I know that you only had a little bit there. You said it was 10:30. I just wanted to have a quick chat with you there. So, dude, amazing find, and great intel in terms of behind the scenes, in terms of just not really behind the scenes, but the story of where they're going, the books and stuff. And I'm not even fully versed in the books. I haven't even read all the books. But I just try to keep up what I can with the development, and this seems like this is going to get real spicy real soon. So thank you for your insight, man, and thanks for chatting with me.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and I'll be more than happy to chat anytime. I'll go for forever, man. I love talking about the game, the story, and yeah, I really appreciate you reaching out tonight, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Again, amazing fucking find, and where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/DanExert. I'm quite active on Twitter as well, so please feel free to come and say hi at DanExert. Always like doing screenshots and photos and like story bits here and there. So yeah, I look forward to catching up with everybody.
Real. All right, thanks, man.
Cheers, dude.